Steve Jobs by Walter Isaacson. Isaacson, he basically one of the best biographers alive. He wrote an excellent book about Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs' father said it was important to craft the back of cabinets and fences properly, even though they were hidden. He loved doing things right. He even cared about the look of the parts you could not see. It was a very big moment that burns into my mind when I realized that I was smarter than my parents. I felt tremendous shame for having thought that I will never forget that moment. So Steve Jobs grew up not only with a sense of having once been abundant, but also with a sense that he was special. In his own mind, that was more important in the formation of his personality. So Steve Jobs always think about himself as a special. Near the end of fourth grade, Mrs. Hill, the teacher, had Jobs tested. I scored at the high school sophomore level, Steve Jobs recalled. Now that it was clear not only to himself and his parents but also to his teachers that Steve Jobs was intellectually special, the school made the remarkable proposal that he skip two grades and go right into seven. Wozniak's father taught him something else that became ingrained in his childlike, socially awkward personality. Never lie. My dad believed in honesty, extreme honesty, Steve Jobs said. That's the biggest thing he taught me. I never lie, even to this day. In addition, Steve Jobs' father gave his son an aversion to extreme ambition, which set Wozniak apart from Jobs. Steve Jobs found himself deeply influenced by a variety of books on spirituality and enlightenment, and especially the book Be Here Now by Baba Ramdev. Basically, he was born as Richard Alpert. Coming back to America from India was for me much more of a cultural shock than going to India. The people in Indian countryside don't use their intellect like we do. They use their intuition instead. And their intuition is far more developed than in the rest of the world. Intuition is a very powerful thing, more powerful than intellect, in my opinion. Jobs came to believe that he could impart that feeling of confidence to others, and they pushed them to do things they had not thought possible. Steve Jobs said, Picasso had a saying, good artists copy, great artists steal, and we have always been shameless about stealing great ideas. Steve Jobs has a theory of reality distortion. His reality distortion is when he has an illogical vision of the future, such as telling me that I could design the breakout game in just a few days. You realize that it cannot be true, but he somehow makes it true. Steve Jobs said the goal was never to beat the competition or to make a lot of money. It was to do the greatest thing possible or even a little greater. From Mike McCullough, Steve Jobs had learned the importance of packaging and presentation. People do judge a book by its cover. So far, the box of the Macintosh Jobs chose a full color design and kept trying to make it looks better. Steve Jobs said, I'm best at doing in finding a group of talented people and making things with them. Steve Jobs has got a narcissistic personality disorder. It fits so well and explains so much of what we had struggled with. It also explains some of the choices that he made about his daughter Lisa at that time. I think the issue is empathy. The capacity for empathy is lacking in Steve Jobs. It's kind of fun to do the impossible. Walt Disney once said. That was the type of attitude that appeals to Job. I finally called Andy Grove, the Intel CEO. At about 8 one Saturday morning. Too early. I gave him the pros and cons, and in the middle, he stopped me and said, Steve, I don't give a shit about Apple. I was stunned. It was then I realized that I do give a shit about Apple. I started it, and it is good to have in the world. One of Jobs' greatest strengths was knowing how to focus. Deciding what not to do is as important as deciding what to do. The ability to focus saved Apple. In his first year back, Jobs laid off more than 3,000 people, which salvaged the company's balance sheet. Under Steve Jobs, there is zero tolerance for not performing. In the past, he had been rewarded for what his wife called his magical thinking, his assumption that he could will things to be as he wanted. Tim Cook, the current CEO of Apple, was calm and decisive when in command, but he did not seek any notice or a complaint for himself. Some people resent the fact that Steve gets credit for everything, but I have never given a rat's ass about that, said Cook. Frankly speaking, I would prefer my name never be in the paper. The autography of Yogi, the guide to meditation and spirituality that he first read as a teenager, then reread as in India, and he read once a year ever after that. Jobs' intensity was also evident in his ability to focus. And Apple itself, which Jobs considered his greatest creation, a place where imagination was nurtured, applied, and executed.